Hello and welcome to the Comic-spiracy episode 337 for the week of December 19th, 2017. I think it's still 2017, I forget.
Right.
It's just a week before Christmas. My name is Ryan Higgins. My name's not Ryan Higgins. Scott's shaking his head. Oh, it is Ryan Higgins. Okay, that is my name now. Who else is here this week with me?
Brock Sager. 5 golden rings.
Whoa.
Bryce Larsen.
Brock just fucking ninja shut off his mic. That's great.
And Scott.
And Charlie.
Hello, everyone. I think we're waiting on Toby. He may swing by. We'll see what's going on here. This is the first of our two-part Best of 2017 episode. We're going to talk about our favorite comic books from the independent companies, Marvel and DC, this week, as well as some honorable mentions and some other cool stuff.
We're doing graphic novels, too.
Your best collections, favorite toy lines of the year, favorite toys of the year. But we're going to do our kind of official list. So it's been a big year for comics. There's been some crazy stuff. Mm-hmm. We have the continuation of Legacy. I'm sorry, we have the continuation of Rebirth. We have the launch of Marvel Legacy. We have Doomsday Clock. We have Metal. We have just
everything Tom King.
The explosion of the indie market even more. I mean, there's so many independent books out there this year. Some great collections.
Legacy.
Yeah, the Marvel Legacy stuff. Yeah, big year for comics. Don't let the pundits tell you otherwise. Great year for comics. A lot of great titles, and we're going to talk about some of them here. We're going to start off with the independent books of 2017. Now, I have to admit...
What pundits are telling us otherwise?
Everyone on the internet saying comic sales are terrible, and stores are going out of business, and the industry's dying.
You put so much stock in these trolls. I don't see this at all.
Remember what Scott said about the trolls?
Yeah, don't feed them.
Don't feed them.
Don't feed the trolls. Which Scott?
That would be Scott Snyder.
From last week. Was that from last week?
That was good.
Yeah. You remember when he was on? That was awesome.
It's been a week.
It's been cool.
It's spectacular. I'm still glowing.
I'm still stunned.
The quality of that audio was so incredible. I sure hope it sounds as good as it should, because I already posted it a week ago.
We're horrible.
I know it works fine.
They know we recorded this right after that episode.
We also do have to have our awesome... We have our listener poll, which we had up on the Facebook group last week, so you can see what our great listeners thought of their favorite books. And 2
weeks ago.
2 weeks ago? No, last week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, last
All
week.
the weeks.
All the weeks.
Okay.
But yeah, we
7
are going
days
to
and some change.
We're going to start with our independent books of the year. Now, I have, and I've mentioned this a couple times. I think I mentioned it last week. I have to be very honest. It has been a busy year for me.
Oh God!
I try to keep up with the Marvel and DC stuff, and my independent backlog has gone to.
I try to keep up with the DC stuff.
I keep up with a lot of Marvel and DC stuff. Yeah.
Oh! You keep up with Marvel stuff?
I do. Yeah.
You read it in the shop.
I got it. There's a good 15 books on my read list right now.
Yeah, you read it mid-bukkake. Okay.
Where the fuck did that come from?
Just pause.
Seems like something you would do.
We're going to read this issue of Champions and then go back? Like, what?
That was really an uncalled for visual.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that half the people listening either heard me or understand, but no, I'm thinking more like Old Man Logan. You're like, this is incredible.
What? Okay, anyway, we're going to move on. So, my independent reading. I have many great independent books that I would love to talk all about, except they are all sitting unread in my giant pile of graphic novels to read, because I've moved, like a lot of people have this year, I've moved a lot of my a lot of my independent reading over to graphic novels. So, I am terrible. I don't really have any best of lists for 2017 for independent comics, and I feel really bad about this. My reading time has gone way down on those books. So, I'm going to double my efforts to catch up on some of these books for 2018. The last year or two, it's been kind of not as much as I would like, but this year has been really bad, and I'll admit it. So
you're committing to a top 6 next year?
Yeah, totally. I will totally read 6 comics from independent companies next year and talk about them. No, I mean, I do keep up with a couple independent companies. I talk about the dinner table. I always read that. That's one of the few that I actually do keep up with. But that's not in my top list. So I'm going to pass this off to Brock.
Shit.
You
You're the
I know,
king
I
of
believe-
independence.
on the podcast, and you are sitting to the left of me, and then Bryce will start the next category, and then Scott will. This is how this goes.
Yeah, I know.
The circle, buddy.
So and
know.
plus you read a lot of independent
I
stuff.
do.
You read a lot more
It's
than
the
I do.
circle,
So.
jerk.
Again, with the reference.
Yeah, just
What? Oh, I was calling him a jerk. I didn't mean for. Oh, did it come across that way?
Oh.
So, I mean, for my top books for independent this year, there's books that are going to be in the top no matter what. Like, Saga's been still going on. It's still an amazing title. So, I don't want to knock it out of the list, but I don't think it would be the best to put up there.
Well, then why don't you give us your list?
It's
give me a
3.
second.
It's 3.
I know it's 3.
With an honorable mention.
Or
If you need.
as many, or Bryce 17.
13, yeah.
Challenge accepted.
Do not remind him.
No reminder needed.
So I've been really enjoying Edward Brigger's Kill or Be Killed. That title's been phenomenal this year. I've also really enjoyed, again, Manifest Destiny has been on the top of my list. I enjoy reading that every month it comes out. And I guess it's weird to say this because it's more. I just read it today, and it ties in with another book that's been going on. But it came out as just a straight to graphic novel hardcover, and that's Roughneck by Jeff Lemire. Mm-hmm. That one was really good, and it also coincides with Royal City that's going on right now, which is a really, really good one too. So those are some of my top independent books of the year. A random honorable mention would be like Port of Earth.
That just started.
That just started,
Yeah.
so I'm curious to see where that one goes. I think issue 2's out tomorrow, or was out last week. But yeah, I mean, for me, those are probably the top books right now, independent-wise.
Well, Dan Clark, one of our listeners on the group, says, for Indie Series, my vote will go to Kill or Be Killed. You have one of the best comic creative teams doing some of their best work, one of the best use of first-person narrative I've read as well. So, yeah, a lot of love for Kill or Be Killed on this list. Bryce.
Love it.
3.
Independent comics.
Independent comics.
Now, you're like me at this point. You're reading everything like or you're more like Charlie, I should say. You're reading everything like those big, sexy hardcovers, right?
Yeah, so I, in the past year, am trying to consolidate. It's more just the fact that indie books in general have been coming out like every 2 months instead of every month, and so it's like slower to come out in the collectible, not collectible format because that's disingenuous, but it's harder to coalesce them in one short box at the rate that they're coming out. If you're also picking up DC and Marvel books, and yeah. Crazy. I'm also picking up DC books. I actually am, as long as it's related to Tom King and or Batman. So my top 3 indie. So anyway, yeah. Sorry. The point of that is that I have sort of segued into, or I should say, shifted or transitioned into just getting big hardcover collections because they're so sexy when they come out. So, for example, I was/am loving Lazarus, but have stopped reading collecting the floppies and waiting for just the sexy hardcover. And
they're on their the AD. Well, no.
X plus 6.
Yeah. They're on that like a whole separate series.
It's a mini series that they're doing on a couple of the characters that are not main characters in the Lazarus book.
Okay, so I did not even know that. So thank you, but yeah, so I'm waiting for some sort of sexy Rucka Lazarus book to come out that I will get. I mean, I read the first, many floppies, and love them all. Same with Saga and East of West. Like I'm loving them, but they come out so infrequently, and they're so sexy when they're collected in a hardcover, and it's hard for me to. I guess validate my own decision to get them both in hardcover and floppy. So I've sort of scaled back and I'm only doing hardcover. I guess kind of like Charlie, although I'm not sure exactly Charlie's qualifications. And
come on, I trademarked that. No.
Lord knows my reasoning is more batshit insane than his sound logic. So I can only say that I'm frankly blown away that because I think that it started this year, although watch me be wrong right now, which is unlikely. That Brock didn't mention Seven to Eternity.
It doesn't have to start this year, just a book from this year.
So I thought that Seven to Eternity started this year. That could be wrong, but
no, it was last year. I'm pretty sure.
Did it? I thought that they've only had like 8 issues come out. So.
They have. I don't think it started this year, though.
Okay.
Seven to Eternity?
Okay.
Maybe.
All right. It doesn't really matter. But so the book that I've loved, the indie book that I've loved the most this year has been Seven to Eternity. I've got a soft spot in my heart for Remender for the good work he did at Marvel. Not sort of turning a blind eye to the not good work he did at Marvel. Also loving Saga, but Saga is such a. What is it? It's like giving Game of Thrones your best TV show award. It's sort of like, okay, this is
February.
Oh,
February?
Bryce is right again.
Felt longer than that.
Confirmed. Sounds like a tale I hear every day. Okay, so Killer Be Killed is another one that I read the first several issues. I'm waiting for the hardcover. Paper Girls, I've totally fallen off on. Look, Brian K. Vaughan. I love I love everything that he did. Anyway.
Nope, September 2016.
Okay, yeah, I didn't think it was February.
I think it was looking at the
September
the trade. Yeah.
Really? Okay. All right.
But there were issues this year. I mean, it could be in the list.
Okay. So Paper Girls, yeah. So Brian K. Vaughan, just in my opinion, taking too long to get to the fucking point of his story. Don't dislike anything about it. Just I'm following it, and I feel like
Are you following in trades yet?
So I was doing floppies and floppies and floppies, and now I've just, as of a month or two ago, I just stopped, and I'm just waiting for a big hardcover because. Just like Saga, it drives me crazy how he does like 6 issues and then takes 3 months off or something like that. And so, you get 6 issues every 9 months. It's driving me crazy. Still good, but definitely some. By the way, this is a very high bar. Is the Brian K. Vaughan bar, but the weakest of the Brian K. Vaughan material that I've read, in my opinion. East of West, I'm still loving, although Lord knows that it takes him several months and even longer than that, several months per issue, and even longer than that to get a good story arc closed. But I'm still absolutely loving that. So my 1 is Seven to Eternity, my 2 is Saga, and my 3 is East of West. Killer Be Killed, I've absolutely been loving. I started Black Hammer, but I'm only 5 issues in, and I'm really liking Black Hammer. But the art is a little rougher. I guess what's the word? Shallow. That doesn't sound like me at all. But comic book reader. It's got a little Frank Quitely sort of roughness to the art. So I'm liking Black Hammer a lot. I'm just only 5 issues in, and I'm very intrigued, and I keep wanting to read more, but haven't read more yet. So I will probably come back to that. But those are my top 3 honorable mentions. Obviously, or what I just said to Killer Be Killed, Paper Girls, and Black Hammer. Since that's pretty much the extent of what I've read. That's longer than I've been allotted.
That's a wrap.
That's longer than I've been allotted. Mr. Shea, can you please tell me what you have been reading on the indie front?
I am horribly behind. Horribly.
And you're in Toby's seat, so it's appropriate.
I am in Toby's seat, but I've actually studied in the last week.
Caught up on a few things.
Caught up on a few things.
That's what you got to do.
But I am 3 trades behind Saga. I am.
Wow.
But the 3 that I'm looking at, James Bond, which I picked up last week. The latest trade was good. It was
James Bond stuff from Dynamite.
Yeah,
it
was very
cool.
good. The number 2 would be Invincible, which I'm looking forward to seeing that wrap up. Obviously, it's been a pretty long run, but I've enjoyed that. And number 1 is Daniel Warren Johnson's Extremity, which is, pretty outstanding and something that Scott Snyder recommended last week.
I'm just talking about that.
So there you go. That's my 3. Pretty short, pretty sweet. but that's what it's going to be when you're behind.
Charlie, got a few?
Yeah, I've been racking my brain for a long time now just because, like a lot of people here, I'm not reading that many indies these days. And, like, it feels really weird to be like, my top 3 lists are like the 3 ones I've actually read this year.
Well, I mean, if that's what you read.
No,
I mean.
but, like, I want to definitely call out the fact that they launched a new Tick comic this year with Bunn doing the writing. I don't remember who's the artist on it right now. But the first issue of that was good. I'm looking forward to them doing more. I picked up the first Rick and Morty hardcover. I'm enjoying that because after the 3rd season, I'm like, I want more Rick and Morty. And that's a very easy way. And it's got a sound chip in the cover, which is always fun.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah. You open the book and it talks to you.
Oh, nice.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
A little fourth dimension.
I finally picked up the Final Chew hardcover this year.
Oh, okay.
So I remember that I sat down to finish Chew. I talked about Headlopper recently. That was another one that I liked. But yeah, it's like literally I've just listed all the indie titles I actually remember reading this year.
I read more indie titles than you guys.
Well, you know.
Well, the thing is, as Bryce already said, I switched to all these hardcovers.
Yeah.
And I have a giant stack of hardcovers right now at home, which are all indie that I just have not had the time to read.
Well, I'm gonna read our top 3 list here, but the top 3 are, well, first of all, some people didn't quite catch the top 3 part of this top 3 list, but whatever, it's fine, it doesn't matter. But on our forum, we had a ton of people that voted this year, so we have a lot more people in the Facebook group, so it's awesome. We have a big list of a big list of titles, and actually, the majority of these titles are the things that are on my list. So it seems like a lot of these books are the same ones that these kind of are some of the big titles.
Yeah, but for most of us, I mean, I think that there's a lot of shared sort of. It's the most popular, so we're all going to read it, so it's the best.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of that.
Well, again, top 3. Number 1 is Saga. Number 2 is Kill or Be Killed, which is the Ed Brubaker title, and then Black Hammer from Dark Horse. That's number 3. And I mean, again, these are easily 3 of the most popular independent titles right now.
So you're caught up on Black Hammer?
No. These are on my list. Saga, I'm like Scott. I'm like 3 trades back on. Kill or Be Killed. I read the first issue and went, well, yep, I'm gonna buy this. So my issues are sitting there in my pile.
When I come into the shop and go, Ryan, what have I bought?
Yeah.
And I ask him to go look at the computer, and he's like, you need the next 2 trades.
But I mean, go down this list, and I'm just going to read these because these are all titles worth picking up. And again, I have read a few or maybe the first 2 or 3 issues of all of these titles, and they are all stuff that I'm going to, again, probably pick up some next hardcovers, or I'm going to read in the trades once they're through. Redneck from Image, it's a horror book. Just the first trade of that came out not too long ago. Paper Girls, I seem to actually be liking more than a lot of people. I find there's been some, people have dropped off on Paper Girls, but I dropped off.
Dropped off.
I think I read the first 12, so I haven't read this year's worth, basically, but
I just bought the hardcover so I can catch up.
There you go. 7 to Eternity.
So did I.
So that rounds up your kind of top 5 if you count ties. God Country, Monstrous. Okay, Black Monday Murders is a title that I tried. I could not get into
I
that.
actually like Black Monday Murders, but it comes out so infrequent.
It's tough.
I will say my favorite indie from this year was Insufferable, which I came in the other day.
Okay,
and asked Ryan about it, and he said it was out in 2015.
Yeah.
So, actually, you bringing up Black Monday Murders and being Man, It Was a Slog just reminded me of how thick that book was. But the other title that I've been reading this year that I got onto was Sacred Creatures. Mm-hmm. That one's really good.
It's the Image title.
It's the Image title. So
yep.
That one I've been really enjoying.
Descenders on this list, Sex Criminals. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of these books are a lot of Image titles, obviously, but there's some really good stuff. Definitely a couple shout-outs for Shirtless Bear Fighter. I know that's got some love this year.
Just had a hardcover come out, or is about to? I know one's been solicited
Maybe
now.
about to. I don't think it's come out yet. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on here. So, but hopefully you've found some cool indie books and stuff you want to read. And
4 Kids Walk Into a Bank is going to be my favorite book of the indie book of the year.
How about Cal Exit when number 2 comes out, huh?
I read Cal Exit number 1 and I really liked it, but what do I got? I got nothing else.
Yeah. All right, it's Marvel time. Let's move on down the road. Let's talk to Bryce.
Oh
Bryce,
my God.
why don't you start us
How
off?
long is this podcast? No,
I heard you like Marvel Comics.
I just like how his laugh sounded a little like Tigger there.
No.
Now, Bryce,
I'm the bounciest Bryce.
you can talk about everything that's an honorable mention after, but why don't you focus?
Okay.
Focus? Why don't you focus on the top 3 first?
There's educator Ryan.
Just focus on those 3, and then you can talk all you want about everything else. But
Okay.
let's focus on those top 3 first.
As my wife said during our Tinder threesome date, I will fuck us.
Whoa.
This is what's gonna. What? Why is that? Whoa. She just told me to focus, and that's what I said.
Okay.
It was the Tinder threesome date that threw us all off.
Okay. So I have my hipster top 3 and my actual top 3. Which would you like to hear? Because those are separate top 3s.
I just want the gif of you
I want
putting your head.
I want the hipster top 3
I want the
first.
gif of Ryan putting a fake gun to his head and going.
So Bryce just wait. Here's the picture. Bryce just put on skinny jeans,
Yeah.
a tight hoodie.
Yeah, and now I look just like Higgins, except more handsome.
Oh.
Wow.
What?
Go
Hipster?
ahead.
My hipster top 3. My hipster top 3 for this year from Marvel Comics is the infamous Iron Man Ultimates 2, and I don't know what else is hipster. I'm embarrassingly behind on
America?
Hawkeye. I did not. No, I cannot give that. I would love to, but I cannot.
There's nothing hipster about either of those books. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Just that they were some of your lowest selling books, and I loved them. Like, what do you mean? Isn't that sort of the idea behind
Infamous
hipster?
Iron Man was not a low-selling book.
Was it not?
No.
No.
It's normal.
Beat out the Invincible
Well,
Iron Man by like 10 copies.
Well, so I guess I'm not understanding. So they canceled it because it was selling well? Is that
They merged them together. Infamous Iron Man is in Invincible Iron Man. It's still the same artist. It's still Alex Maleev. They literally merged the 2 books into one book.
No, but what I heard is that they gave the writer MRSA and sent it to DC.
Jesus Christ.
Too soon. Too soon.
Is it too
Too
soon?
soon. It's too soon.
Okay.
Then just please don't die in the weeks after we recorded this, because I won't remember to
Can you
edit
get a
this out.
MRSA PSA in here?
Yeah.
wash your hands.
If
Be
you want to know
clean.
about MRSA or need to know about MRSA or don't understand, the Skills to Last Week podcast is actually a terrible thing, and I'm only joking because I really legitimately liked Infamous Iron Man, and Bendis has been like a godsend to the comic, ecosystem and universe in general. For the most part, we'll say. So anyway, I still think that's a hipster mention. I don't think that Infamous Iron Man is on anybody's top 5 list. How about that?
So what's your third hipster mention?
For Marvel? Wait, why do you have to roll your eyes? You're the fucking hipster king. How annoying that you're like trolling
How
me
is
about
Ryan
this.
hipster?
He's not even a hipster anymore.
Milkman.
He's just a contrarian.
Are you kidding? Are you guys even serious? Anyway, my third one would be, I guess hipster is like what.
So are you trying to predict Ryan's list? Is that what you're doing here?
No, because Ryan's top 3 Marvel list is just 3 DC books. So fuck that shit. Anyway, and I will keep this away from honorable mentions and give you one title that is, I guess, just Peter Parker's Spectacular Spider-Man.
Are those your 3? That's your actual.
No, that's
3
my
list.
hipster top 3. That's
Okay.
different than the Bryce top 3.
Now, what is Bryce's top 3?
By the way,
That's what I
that is the Bryce hipster top 3 because I really loved all 3 of those titles.
So they're honorable mention, just not honorable mentions.
No. I have other honorable mentions. You want to hear them?
You have your
No,
hipster
no.
honorable mentions?
No. I don't know why that's cackle-worthy. I
is funny.
actually do.
That's
Do
funny.
you want to hear them now or later?
Later.
Why don't you give me your actual top
Okay,
3?
the Bryce actual top 3.
And then you can list every Marvel book in alphabetical order and tell
Okay.
us.
No, because I wouldn't put them all on my list. I would not.
Okay, you take America off.
Squirrel girl.
No, thank you.
Miss Marvel?
Nope. Also, no, thank you. So my top book of the year was Mighty Thor, written I think exclusively this year by Jason Aaron. I don't think that he had any interruptions during this year. My top book for this year
No,
is
Latour wrote a couple issues.
Did he? Mighty Thor.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Thor was very good in general. It's my number 1 pick, whether he's holding an axe and he has an X chromosome. Oh, wait, did I get that right? Is it X chromosome? I think that it is.
Doesn't have an X chromosome. Or
They
no,
both
has
have
one?
X chromosomes.
Sure. Why?
It's Y.
There you go.
Right, but the ladies at the YYs, right?
No.
No, XY.
Did I get that backwards?
This is not the science podcast, okay? This is not
I love
elementary
how
school science.
None of us
This
know.
is-
Look,
this is
I'm
serious
putting,
comic
Inner
nerd
XY.
stuff.
I'm putting my
XY,
foot down. Gentlemen are XY and ladies are YY.
Correct.
So why
No,
are you
XY.
all?
XX.
You're all the worst.
Males have one Y chromosome and one X chromosome, while
Women,
females have two X chromosomes. In mammals, the Y chromosome contains
Okay,
a
stop.
gene,
Please stop.
SRY,
Please,
which
God.
triggers
Please,
embryonic
God.
development
Please stop.
as a male.
You deserve it.
In any capacity, Mighty Thor, or anything written by Jason Aaron involving Thor,
So Mighty Thor, next. What's your second book?
was number 1. Number 2 was Old Man Logan. Old Man Logan went through a writer change and still stayed awesome. Old Man Logan has been incredible and is my number 2 book with incredible art and great storytelling all year. Old Man Logan, number 2. My number 3 pick is X-Men Gold Astonishing Blue. Which is how the kids call the
That's a good title.
the current X-Men,
red.
aka Uncanny Astonishing blank. Because the X-Men books come in a 3-way tie. Really, it's a 2-way tie with Gold and Astonishing. But I do need to give the shout out to X-Men Blue for also being a refreshing revamp post Legacy or current with Legacy. Okay. Anyway,
Giggles is back.
yeah, thank God. Anyway, so I have some honorable mentions. Well, I will not honorably mention right now, but X-Men, thank God, found its form in the back half of the year, and I'm happy to have that happen.
They're back in the race.
They are back in the race.
Back in the saddle again.
Yeah, were you singing? Was that a song?
No,
Yeah.
I was just kind of
It sounded like he was trying to sing a song.
sleepily saying
tune.
something.
Sheepily saying something. Well,
That's why it's not in Nashville.
Exactly.
that's one of the reasons.
Got
Yeah,
the
no.
beard.
True. And the bandana.
So, Scott, what are your 3?
My top 3 Marvel books.
Whoa. Just right off.
I did it.
Damn.
He just passed it off. That was
Yeah.
pretty quick.
That's
No, I'm-
incredible.
That's how it works.
I'm
All
done.
right.
I'm done.
All right.
I respect the hunger that I
Sorry,
have.
I was just looking on Twitter and just, I assumed I had like 20 more minutes. So
Probably finding something to talk shit about me on Twitter.
just reading people talking about my signature.
Yeah,
It's
they're already talking about your signature?
God, it's really bad. It's been a week and I still haven't gotten over it.
Scott, you like Marvel? What's your top 3 Marvel comics
I
of
do like
2017?
Marvel. My top 3. Number 3, Moon Knight. Moon Knight from the beginning to now is a crazy, psychotic, and really fun story. It weaves around, and sometimes when you're reading it, you don't know where he is or where it's going, and that makes it. If you can hold on, it's a lot of fun.
Imagine Tom King writing it.
But I don't mind Lemire writing it. He's done a nice job. So kudos to number 3. Number 2 is the cosmic badass himself, and that's Thanos. Also written by Lemire.
Donny Coates now. Donny Cates. I always
Right.
call him Donny Coates. Donny Cates.
I was super surprised. It was, for me, reading it was the biggest surprise for a villain-led book since Old School Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
The first time the Thunderbolts came
Yeah,
through.
yeah.
So I really like it. I like the direction it's going. I liked that you see it. Minus Darth Vader. Darth Vader's really good.
That doesn't count.
I know.
I feel like Thanos is actually one of those kind of underpopular. What's the word I'm looking for?
Underrated?
Underrated.
Jesus.
I guess that's not really. I mean,
so good.
I think it's rated fine. I think it's just not.
It is not rated. What?
Thanos.
Part of it is the
Thanos was not in your top 7, possibly. Maybe it was in your top 5. But
Well, there's a difference between how something sells and how something is received.
Yeah, I feel like it's really
Under-received?
Under-received, yeah.
Underperforming?
I guess.
Well, and it's-
Underperforming.
and you
Sure,
look
maybe
at-
that's the word I'm looking for.
I mean, as a cosmic entity, I love cosmic entities. I love all the cosmic characters.
so does Al Ewing.
So does Al Ewing.
Look, if they launched like a Batman Who Laughs comic today, like it would sell like 100,000 copies. Like Thanos deserves to sell more than it is selling. And it's super weird that nobody cares about this book. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, go ahead.
Back to Thanos,
Dude, I totally
number 2.
I've felt that this Thanos series has been. It harkens a lot back to Abbott and Lanning's Guardians.
Yeah.
Where we actually kind of feel like we're in space and we're not going to have Venom pop in or the Thing pop in and do some crazy bullshit. We're going to get to deal with the space characters, and we're going to see Thane, even though you hate his guts.
I do.
And it felt like the Abbott and Lanning Guardians that really catapulted Guardians to the forefront of the Marvel universe. Because before they were kind of just this title that random people read.
At best, number two. Number 2.
For me...
that's your number 2.
That's my number 2.
I'm sorry, I thought you were saying that Guardians were a number 2 book. Sorry.
That was a very good book. I love that.
Yeah.
Not my top of this year, though.
Yeah. All right, by the way, looking at Brock, you said the Thing and Venom very randomly. Are you just throwing shade at the current Guardians?
No, because every once in a while you see Venom in space and the Thing's out in space.
What do you mean every once in a while? Literally only once ever.
No, Bendis had Thing on the team for a little while. He had Venom on the team for a little while. It was this constant rotation of we have to ground. We have to ground the Guardians
space guys.
We have to ground the Guardians with some Marvel character that we're not using currently really in the Marvel universe.
It sounds like you're only complaining about Guardians under Bendis.
Eventually, we'll get to Scott's third title.
Look, I can wait because I loved
Thanos is incredible.
The finish of my favorite title of the year, and it's not a really popular one, but Silver Surfer is one of my longtime favorite characters, and I really thought that Slott wrapped the program up really well. I mean, the last 2 issues, spoiler if you haven't read it, that he goes through the end of his relationship with Dawn Greenwood.
Oh, spoiler level 3.
Spoiler level 3. Is if you're invested at all in the read, it's emotional, it's powerful, and it's a really good finish to that book. So that was my favorite.
So is Silver Surfer done? Mm-hmm. Did he close the arc and the story's over?
Yep.
Oh my god, that's awesome. So is it going to be hopefully collected in like a... How many issues?
He certainly hopes so.
Like a nice, shiny...
28?
Yeah, this 28, 29. Yeah, there's 5 soft covers.
So that's an omnibus, probably.
Yeah.
I read about the first half of it, and then like I'm not a big Mike Allred fan art-wise, but I really enjoyed the story on Silver Surfer.
Yeah, I mean, if you like it travels throughout. I mean, I've talked to Charlie about it before, and it's always a fun story, but the emotional aspect of the last 2 issues are what really sold it for me and set it over the edge. So,
wow, number 1 book of the year.
Yeah, loved it.
That's high praise.
With a silver bullet board.
With a cosmic surfboard.
Got any honorable mentions you want to throw out?
What? He gets honorable mentions?
You
all
about like
You,
6.
yeah, I was going to say, you covered like 10 books.
No.
Flip, entire Marvel catalog.
Defenders. I liked the Defenders, the beginning of the Defenders run. I love Iron Fist. I wish I could really recommend it wholeheartedly, but I can't recommend it wholeheartedly, just half-heartedly. You know, sometimes that's good enough.
Because you've only read a couple.
I've read
open palm, not closed fist.
Yeah. So there. I mean, there you go. Charlie.
So I feel like I'm treading over the same books, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Silver Surfer, yeah, that was a phenomenal run that finally wrapped up. I let myself get a bit behind, and then I just reread the entire thing when it wrapped up, and I was very, very happy with the way it kind of bookended, and especially reading it all at once like that was...
And with the delays, it helped to read together.
So I was really, really happy with how that book went. Thanos is also on my list, specifically because when I'm sitting here thinking about, like, well, what happened or what got a huge reaction from me in Marvel this year, and I remember there was like one instance where I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, Ryan, did you see the last page of Thanos this
Phoenix
week?
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they revealed like where the Phoenix egg was and like,
And Higgins always said no.
well, he went immediately to go look at the book and we're like, how is nobody talking about this? Because it was one of those things. And
Yeah, Thanos book's great. I'm
yeah.
telling you.
So I was always
You're telling
really,
us?
really, really impressed with just the level of attention. And I mean, Ultimates also had a lot of that stuff with what they did with Galactus and all that. But and of course, I'm putting Cable on my list because I'm the number one Cable fan. And it's actually
Fuck, that's fake news. That is just a lie. I'm not used to you lying. That's weird.
Did you
now that Silver Surfer
Honorable mentions.
now that Silver Surfer is no longer coming out, it's actually the only Marvel book I'm buying.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I've been buying it all along, so that makes me a bigger fan. That doesn't dispute what you said. Damn it.
Yeah, I was going to say, you kind of have a little bit of a flaw in your logic there.
Yeah. Well, it's the first time
any
ever.
honorable mentions you want to throw out there,
Jessica
Charlie?
Jones.
Oh, yeah?
Like,
Yeah, good stuff.
Out of everything that Bendis is writing, that is... It basically brought back the Alias book, and I love it. I love kind of just every single issue that comes out. It's still very engaging. It's still very raw. It's a great book.
Ooh, baby, I like it raw. Hey, so my honorable mention...
Were you singing?
So
Did it sound like
the
singing?
Facebook group? I got some. I want to read a couple comments that they had made on here. Our good friend A. Ham, also known as Alex Ham, also known as Alexander Hamilton, says Hawkeye's the best Marvel book none of you are reading. It was a toss-up between X-Men Gold and Astonishing. I think both have been really good, but I went with the Gold simply because it has more issues, and Astonishing just finished its first arc. So Tom actually says no, Alex. Infamous Iron Man is a Marvel book no one is reading. That book was top-notch, so there you go. Some love for some Bryce books there. Infamous Iron Man.
I'm sure that I would love Hawkeye. Mr. Hamilton and his hat are right. I'm not reading that, although I'd probably love it. But the other gentleman who's equally...
You wouldn't like Hawkeye. It's all about Kate.
What the fuck? What does that even mean?
You don't like the kids?
What the fuck are you... What is wrong with you? Why wouldn't I like the kids? I like the kids.
It's okay. Hipster Bryce would love it.
There you go. Maybe.
The fuck? Yeah. Why would
What's
I
your
like
top three, Ryan?
Well, I got three, and I hate to say that I'm going to be a little... going to sound like Charlie and Scott here a little bit, but my number 3 book of the year is Silver Surfer by Dan Slott and Mike Allred. I talked to Dan Slott at length about this on our episode, how incredible that Silver Surfer book was. Sort of... if you're a Doctor Who fan, I especially think you will appreciate Silver Surfer. Number 2, at this point, just put it on my top Marvel list permanently because until you stop writing it, it's going to keep being on my list, and that's Mighty Thor by Jason Aaron, Russell Dodderman, and various other people that helped out through that series. With the Death of Thor arc coming, or that we're in right now, I don't know how that's going to end. I honestly don't know if they're going to bring back Thor, or if
Odin's son as Thor.
Yeah, Odin's son, or if Jane's gonna stick around. But I'm digging everything he does. Doesn't matter which part of the Thor they're dealing with. So
The X or the Y.
Yep, there you go. And again, I talked about this at length when we did our Legacy episode. But my number 1 book of the year kind of caught me off guard. It really shocked me how much I liked that book. And this Defenders by Brian Michael Bendis and David Marquez. If you're liking those Netflix shows, man, you gotta read Defenders. It takes all those characters, and to me, it's like, again, I'll just kind of paraphrase what I said in that episode. It's just Bendis is such a natural talent for these characters, the street level guys. I love this story, and I read a fucking Deadpool. I read a book with Deadpool in it and liked it. Like, how hard is that for me these days? It's such a rare book that actually takes these characters and portrays them in such a good fashion that this is why these Netflix shows existed, was because of his work on these characters, and guys like Brubaker's work on Iron Fist. They really made these characters so strong. I think Defenders is the best these characters have been seen recently. And my honorable mentions go to Thanos by Jeff Lemire, Mike Deodato, and now Donny Cates. Again, Thanos I think has been just such a killer book. Way
And you're saying this with Dawn in it.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Thane.
I
What the fuck?
I
Yeah.
bitch about Thane. I'm joking half the time. I really don't. He has such a stupid name. Okay, Thane. I hate that name. That's that A-N-E Thane. No, it's an awful name. But I don't care about the character.
Okay.
But it's like, but I mean, the Deodato's work. I love Mike Deodato, especially on a book like Thanos. And so I know the creative team has now shifted, but the Jeff Lemire run of Thanos was great. And hopefully Donnie's rank will stay high. But like Charlie said, Jessica Jones by Brian Michael Bendis and Michael Gaddis.
Gyarados.
Gaydos? Gaddis?
Oh, wait.
Gaddis?
Am I thinking of the wrong guy?
Maybe.
Most likely.
Yeah, again, those Netflix shows, they take the genius of that original Alias run and what Bendis did with this character and put such a good spin on it. Kind of brought my love of that character back. Well, I guess I liked her in New Avengers too. So I've liked at this point. God, I think I've read every book she's ever been in. I must have. Yeah, Jessica Jones, fantastic title. And it's real tough with Defenders of Jessica Jones. I have no idea where these books are going to go after Bendis leaves. He's handpicked some people to take over, but that's a big shoe to fill.
How did Green Lantern do after John's left?
Really, well, terrible for a while, and then they somehow gave
The same.
It was Vendetti.
Yeah, Robert Vendetti. They gave him the magic sauce, and now he's writing one of the best books at DC. So.
Yeah, because at the time he was writing Exo Manowar, and his Exo Manowar was fantastic.
Yeah.
But you went over to Green Lantern, and I mean, right off the gate, it's like, did you even read any
Out the
history
gate.
on
yeah,
this?
yeah. So
Out the gate.
that's my Marvel books. Brock, you read Marvel
Yes.
occasionally.
Occasionally.
You like a few of them
Yes.
without the asterisks.
Yes.
What's your favorite Marvel books of
It's
the
like
year,
most
bro?
people in a DC movie.
That's the joke.
Most, I mean, it's on most everyone's list. It's, Mighty Thor, as well as Old Man Logan.
See, something about that Hulk arc. I was not into Hillbilly Hulks. I didn't like him in Old Man Logan. I like him coming back. I like Maestro, but man, I don't know. I didn't like that second. I didn't like that most recent
I think
arc.
what it was.
It's funny.
Is,
You like Squirrel Girl, and
But not
fucking
Hillbilly Hulk.
No.
a lot of people don't like that. So your opinion is noted and fucking thrown
Well,
away.
I think that
because
I think
Alright.
again, the difficult part is you're following Jeff Lemire's run on it,
and that that last arc.
What do you do? So you have to kind of do something kind of crazy, and
Yeah.
that bringing what the Hillbilly Hulks from Old Man Logan's world to the current day, or to whatever Marvel you were in now. I think that was a good risk to take. It wasn't too outlandish. It wasn't too crazy. It was still grounded. It still held to kind of the origins of the character. So I think the passing of the reign, it was an okay job. Now, going forward, we'll see how well, is it Brayson?
Yeah.
Bryce
Son.
Bryson?
I think that it's actually Bryson. But I will always emphasize the Bryce son.
Yeah, we know.
Now
And
we all know.
honestly, I mean, I hate to lump a category in there, but the Star Wars books for me from Marvel have been
Yeah, sure.
fantastic. The main series, Darth Vader, all the minis that they've been doing, they've just been really good, solid books that just expand the canon out, the new canon out that Disney has kind of started. Honorable mentions, I mean, are basically batshit crazy Moon Knight and the Street People, Jessica Jones, Defenders, Iron Fist. I got back onto Daredevil with the Mayor Fisk stuff. So, there's a lot of really good stuff, there if you're looking for, titles. It's kind of a shame that I don't feel it's, Amazing Spider-Man's not on that list for me, or X-Men's not on that list for me. But we'll see in the coming year, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, it should be no surprise that our reader or our listener is almost 2-1 over the next option shows Mighty Thor as Book of the Year from Marvel, with Old Man Logan coming in second and Moon Knight coming in about half that. So Mighty Thor and Old Man Logan, the clear winners. Thanos and Daredevil both number 4 and 5 spot on our poll too. So right under Moon Knight. So all good books. Moon Knight, I do need to catch up. I read the Lemire run and loved it, but I do want to catch up on the
the Legacy book
Legacy
is
ones.
really good.
Yeah, I haven't read the two out.
Two
issues out so
I
far?
read the first one.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
But haven't read the second one
Yeah,
yet.
and Moon Knight's one of those characters, and Toby's going to yell at me from the back. But like, I never think that I like
Toby.
I never think that I like Moon Knight.
Moon Knight, see?
Moon Knight would never be
see?
one of those characters where I'm like, yeah, I like Moon Knight. I just never think about it, and until I think I've read every comic that Moon Knight's like ever been in, and like every issue in the 80s, all the current runs, every random team book that he's in, I've read Moon Knight. I'm like, yeah, I guess I like Moon Knight now. West Coast Avengers, see, Toby knows.
Moon Knight definitely is in my opinion, shortlist for like a Netflix original series.
Oh yeah.
Because they could do such good things with him based on like what they've got available talent wise.
Easy. Scott, why don't you start us off with some DC love?
My DC list is pretty easy. Number 3, Batman. Do you need to see any more? Batman.
Tom King, baby.
Tom King.
Get used to that name.
Continuing to kill it.
Wait, who? Just kidding.
That'd be Batman.
That's a joke.
Tom King.
Yeah.
I think you know him.
He dresses up like a bat?
Yes. Not Bat Dad, though.
That guy's awesome.
That guy is funny.
Bryce, what are you doing in my chair?
Oh, that's pretty good interpretation.
It is pretty good.
That's not as good.
It's really good.
That's better.
All right, anyway.
Shathid.
Number 2 is Metal because so many Batmans. So many Batman. It's just more Batmans.
Oh my god.
There's tons of them. There's Flash Batman, Joker Batman, Superman Batman.
It is annoying so much to me that this whole like discussion is going to be centered around how good Batman books are, and it's like it's.
You know, all 5 of us are going to have the exact same list.
I know, including me, and it's just like it's all fucking Batman, and it's like,
Except
oh, good
for
job,
number 1.
good job, DC. No, okay, Batman / Tom King.
Number 1 is Mr. Miracle because it is.
No, three issues or 4.
4.
4. But it doesn't matter.
Time flies.
It's the 4 best
I
issues.
think I gave Vision my top Marvel book after 1 issue. I was like, yes, this is the best comic
Right,
that's
but
come
you
out this
gave
year.
fucking Mr. Miracle best book of 2017 in fucking February. Like,
Before it was even
and
solicited.
you weren't wrong. Like you were right.
Right.
I'm just saying that fucking Tom King.
I had a
like-
vision. I had no pun intended. I had a dream that
No, the pun was intended.
I mean, it's so good.
Yep.
It's so good. I mean, watching Scott Free be so nonchalant about getting basically court-martialed in his house on Earth, and he's eating cookies in a bathrobe. I don't know if he was in a bathrobe, but
It's fucking incredible. It
it's
is
just-
incredible.
It's just,
It is so good.
and you know he's Scott Free. He's Mr. Miracle. He's going to get out of whatever he's in.
Can't be
Yeah.
bothered.
Can't be bothered with it. I got a show.
Yeah,
And you're going,
it's fucking incredible.
you're like, there's going to be destruction and all this.
Well, I mean,
I
once
assume
again-
100% of our listeners are getting this book, and
Oh.
if you're not,
Spoiler level 3.
you need to be getting this book. Yes, spoiler level 1, buy this book.
Just go get it.
Is that how that works?
any honorable mentions, Scott? There's non-Batman titles and non-Tom King or titles I'm sure you're reading.
Hal Jordan,
Yep.
Green Lanterns is
Okay.
my. It's very good. It's just not Batman or Mr. Miracle.
I was going to say
It's
that
not
doesn't,
by Tom
that
King.
doesn't have Bat or King in the title. So how does that?
It's difficult.
Bat
So
King?
I would say Green Lantern,
Green Lanterns.
Green Lanterns. Just, I mean, the universe is still solid. It's always it's always a good read. But that's my honorable mention. But I'm obviously 2 others, huge, massive, that will be brought up. The Button and the single issue of Doomsday Clock.
Wait, so okay, I have a question because I think that these are going to be on all our lists as well. These are like 12-issue miniseries events, so they're longer than a miniseries, but they're a fucking year long. Like Metal and Doomsday Clock, how does this work for our like top list? Does this
Put
count
it
as an
on.
ongoing? Because it's not an ongoing.
I mean, it's just your top
ongoing for
top
that
from
year?
that company. Yeah, it doesn't have to be ongoing.
Yeah. It's just top comic. It doesn't matter if it's a mini-series, a one-shot.
Okay.
I'm assuming the Swamp Thing special that Tom King's
King,
writing half of that comes out in January, that'll probably end up being one of our top 3 books of 2018. So.
I love Swamp Thing when they had New 52.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see the direction that Tom King's going to take it.
Yeah. Well, it's just a one shot. It's not like anything. It's not like an ongoing or
But
anything.
it's going to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Exactly. My favorite Elmer Fudd book of this decade was Batman Elmer Fudd.
Charlie.
Don't bite his finger.
So, yes, Batman is just going to be on my list as long as it maintains its quality. And the Batman Annual is...
2?
Yeah. The Batman Annual number 2 is the comic that I'm going out of my way to be like, read this. I'm like just passing it around to all my friends being like, you need to read this. And I've gotten very good reactions, made various people cry, all that fun stuff.
Charlie's giving it to his kids. Fucking making
Grow up and read this.
making them cry. Good job.
I gotta toughen you up.
Charlie. Charlie made me cry.
Mr. Miracle is definitely an easy one to kind of put on my list. But for my number 3, I'm actually going with Bug.
Oh, yeah. Bug's
I like
good.
Bug.
Bug's
I
real
like
good.
Bug.
That's a fucking hipster choice, Mr.
Yes.
Trenchcoat.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
There you go. Bug.
You know who wouldn't approve of that choice is Cable. I know that as the number 1 fan.
Honorable mention.
No, I think Cable would be okay. I mean, he's got Dupe on his team now. It's all red doing Bug.
Not next issue. But I have hope that next issue will be good.
Hey.
Oh, dad jokes.
Yes.
Sorry, but not sorry.
Honorable mentions.
Oh, I mean, there's tons of honorable mentions. I mean, Metal and like specifically the Red Racer?
Red Death.
Red Death one shot. I really liked the Red Death one shot. The button obviously was amazing. I love that. I love that a lot more than a lot of what they did with Oz Effect and some of the other stuff. And I loved the issue of Flash after the button where they kind of dealt with the Reverse Flash and like that arc right after the button. I kind of felt like, why would anybody stop reading it if it's going to go directly into here? And that got me very excited. Both the Green Lantern books, both of those have been very enjoyable reads, and I like how they have delved so much more into sort of the mythology that got set up by Johns in a lot of cases. So it feels more like a true successor to John's run, which I appreciate a lot. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I'm always forgetting
The rest
something.
Super Sons.
Virtually the rest of DC's
You're forgetting
comics.
Super Sons.
Gabe Carson.
Superman.
You're forgetting.
Action comic.
Well, I'm going to read some comments from the Facebook group here. Maybe you'll
Whoa.
you'll think about
do we
it.
get to go before
Yes.
you read the comments?
I read the comments in the midpoint, and then we read their pick at the end.
The commenters are going to steal my thunder for all the good DC homework I've done.
So Travis says Aquaman, since Steven Sedgwick took over on art, has been great, and man, did autocorrect sure try like hell to respell his name. Ben says DC proper isn't doing much to appeal to me, but the Wildstorm revival has been ace, and how can you not love Bug, the Mike Allred New Gods book, which I agree. And Kyle says I've been absolutely loving Red Hood and the Outlaws, which I like that book a lot. Life of Bizarro was amazing. I'm not usually a shipper, but holy hell do I need Jason and Artemis to get together. I don't know what magic juice Lobdell drank when Rebirth started. This is true, but I hope he keeps drinking it, yeah. Scott Lobdell's stuff during New 52 was rough at best, and suddenly I think Red Hood's been a fantastic title since it relaunched. So
I just have had no interest in reading that.
You didn't drink the juice?
it's a fun title.
Red Hood lost me on issue 1
That's a bad start.
out of New 52.
Start the new series.
Out of New 52.
Read the new series. Ignore everything else.
Gone. Bailed.
So my DC list should come as little to zero surprise to anyone listening.
Let me guess. 3 out of 5 A's.
Yes. It's like 3 out of like 700 days. So, I mean, we got to start from the bottom. Let's do this.
There you go. Scott's right.
Any other year, Dark Knight's Metal would be my favorite book of the year by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. But this ain't any other year.
Our friend.
Our good friend Scott Snyder. Dark Knights has been
Friend
great.
podcast.
What do you say? I mean, it's such a good event. They basically created as many good new characters in this book. The last time anything like this happened was Jeff Johns' run on Green Lantern, where he created that many brand new characters. I mean,
What's the name? Which one?
Metal.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said new characters. I thought you meant actual new characters.
And of course, you could be snarky like that and say, "Oh man, Joker,
Was
Batman."
Larfleeze not a new character?
Larfleeze.
That's what I mean.
But what I mean is the Dark Knights.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Is that
While
Larfleeze
they're-
is actually a new character.
They're mashup
Your metal
characters
are just all Batman characters.
But there is a special. It's not just some random Elseworld book that people are going to forget about. There's a little special sauce to those characters, to those Dark Knights. I love
them.
them.
Out in Hero Click.
That's exactly what I mean, right?
Cannot wait
Oh, they're good.
until they come out.
There's 6 of them. They're going to be chases.
Oh, it's going to be awesome.
I'll buy all of them.
Have you seen that people have already started making custom action figures of these things, and they look
You know why?
awesome.
Because they're fucking Batman.
Yeah,
Like,
they're great. It's like Jeff Johns, but it was
sound
like
angry.
I'm just
when
annoyed
Jeff
that he's
Johns-
like, oh no, they're all new characters,
They are
and
new.
it's like
Jeff Johns when he was like, well, there's Green Lanterns. Why can't there be every other color too? It's not like he really. It's not like he created it, but he made them special.
Mm-hmm.
So with this, he's like, well, sure, Batman could just take the powers of other people, but they could be stupid, right? There's a special sauce to these characters that is just so. These characters will be in DC forever at this point. They're going to use them like hell. They're
just
great
like every
characters.
other color lanterns.
Yeah, they're great characters.
Let me take these very famous Justice League characters and mix them with Batman.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a great character, right? When did?
I think that the Batman that laughs is a great character.
Yeah.
And
Did you read those one shots? They're all
I've read every one.
Yeah.
and I really really like them all.
Yeah.
Except for maybe the Cyborg one. Except for possibly the Aquaman one. But
I really like the Aquaman one. Like the gender flip
Yeah,
universe.
yeah.
I like that. That was cool.
I don't mind the fact that it's a gender flip, but but it was just like,
It's Bryce Wayne. That's her name.
oh, is that her name?
Yeah.
Well, she's got a sexy name.
Anyway, my number 2 book, Batman by Tom King and various artists. Julie Jones has been killing it with this current arc with Talia and Catwoman.
rules of engagement.
Every arc of Tom King's Batman has been better than the previous. And I thought the first issue started off as one of the best first issues I think I'd ever read. Like, it is insane how good this current arc with Catwoman, the
Rules
one
of
that just
Engagement.
ended, was so good. And then the annual, and then the date night issue. Fantastic.
I let a coworker of mine read that was the Super Friends issue.
Yeah, the
and
first part.
they were
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"This is awesome." I'm like, "Yeah,
Lois
the next
Lane's
one
a
comes
fucking
out in like
badass.
a week," and they're like, "Can I read it again?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah. You know, and I mean, it's easy to say Batman's fun, but Batman is as popular as Batman has been. We have not had this much good Batman titles all at one point ever in the character's history.
And it's insane that more just keep coming
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, White Knight
Yeah.
was the one I was
God.
forgetting.
White Knight.
Well, the creature by night with Busick.
yeah,
that one was
I haven't,
really
I
good.
haven't read that one yet, but really, Detective has been
the
top
straight
tier.
the straight to graphic novel, the Dark
Dark Prince,
Charming
yeah,
or
Dark Knight
something.
Prince,
That one was really good.
Yeah. But of course, number 1, not even a question, Mr. Miracle by Tom King and Mitch Gerardis. I mean, what can I say about this book? It's not the best DC comic of the year. It's the best comic of the year. It might be the best comic of the decade. It might be the best comic ever made. I don't know. It's incredible. If you're not reading it, you need to read it. It's very, very special. But there is... After you drop off those top 3, there's so many good DC books out here, but a couple I wanted to mention. Super Sons by Peter Tomasi and Jorge Jimenez. Dude, Super Sons is like the most fun book on the market right now. I love...
Number one.
Huh?
My number one.
Yeah, Super Sons is
Toby
great.
speaks.
Super Sons is great. I love Jonathan. He's such a great character, and he's so good in Super Sons. And Damien. I mean, who doesn't love Damien?
It's a great. I mean, Tomasi is just a great writer for that combination.
Yeah.
I mean, he has done such an amazing job with the father-son dynamic with both Damien and Bruce in the New 52 Batman and Robin, and then again in the Rebirth stuff with Superman and Jonathan in Superman. That it's a natural progression for him to do the two sons together. So, I really enjoy Super Sons.
Well, Superman, also on my honorable mention by Peter Tomasi and Patrick Gleason. There was a couple of kind of shady fill-in issues, but whatever. I'm not going to put that on them. The Lex Luthor arc going on right now has been great.
Imperious Lex.
Again, the entire way, the entire Jonathan, Lois, Clark dynamic, the whole family dynamic in the Superman title. This is the Superman, again, if you missed it last year when it was on my top list, it's on this honorable mention list for this year again because it keeps being good. This is the Superman you guys all wanted. He's back. It's fantastic. And again, another one that I remember this was on my list last year and I'm still loving it. That's Titans by Dan Abnett and Brett Booth. Again, this is a personal one where I love these characters. I love the original Teen Titans characters, and they do such a good job bringing them back into the DC universe. They've had a lot of play, although they've kind of done some back and forth with Wally. But I want to see where they're going with this. And I know we're getting the in the Flash comic, we're getting the Flash War coming up, so Wally's going to be a big part of that. Love the Titans book. I think it's a little underrated. People should check it out if they like those characters. So that's my DC list. Brock, what you got?
Oh crap! I mean, pretty much the same. I mean, Batman.
Did you just ditto?
Just ditto the whole everyone's list. Don't
ditto my list, dude. That's gross.
You can ditto your list if you want.
No, I mean Batman, just amazing. Tom King. You go to Mr. Miracle again, an amazing title. Really kind of fresh take on that character. Tom just has an ability to give really deep, insightful relationships with just
Tom
King.
Your friend?
Yeah, my friend Tom King.
Just checking.
My buddy Tom.
You're one writer, and then all of them are your buddies.
Well, it's just weird. King. I'm like, TK. I don't know. If I called him TK, it'd probably be worse.
For the love of God, call him TK.
For the rest, that's it.
Can you, for the rest? Yes. Can you call him TK for the rest of the podcast?
All the time.
And forevermore. So, how's TK's writing?
Fucking fantastic. Everyone needs to be reading TK's writing. Okay.
What is your favorite TK book
right now?
There's a lot of TK books. What's your favorite TK book this past year, and what is your favorite TK book that you're looking forward to?
Batman and the Swamp Thing.
Has there been
I don't know.
401
I Vision better than I like
TK 421 TKs? Is that the number I'm looking for?
What
was it? TK 421? Isn't that it? Yeah,
it's TK 421.
Yeah, there you go. That sounds good. Yeah, your comms not working.
Yeah.
Check. Sibilance.
Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo's Metal.
So nice.
Of course, one of the best books. Honorable mention, even though it should be on my top of my list, but it's not going to be because we've only got one issue, is Doomsday Clock.
That's where honorable mentions go.
Yeah. I mean, next year it's definitely going to be on my list. Yeah. I mean, DC, I think, has a lot of really good titles out, and the family of books really work well together. So even if you deviate from, Batman or, you can go to the Superman family and they're good books. You can go to the Justice League family and they're good books. You can go and read, Titans, New Teen Titans is fun. So there's a lot of different books out there that I think, depending on your taste, honorable mentions would, it's more towards what your taste is at that point. But you definitely need to be reading what is on all of our lists because it's all just amazing. Oh, Batman White Knight, of course, because of the new Neo Harley. Oh, yes.
Whoa. Clean up on aisle 4.
Bryce.
Seriously. I love how I am. I love the DC universe, but I'm probably the least DC heavy member of the podcast. But somehow, every book that's on everybody's list I've read, which makes my job even easier because I've only read
That's because
anything.
we assign them for the podcast.
That's like a Brock joke, Charlie. Not funny at all. Oh, yeah. Something that none of you trolls has mentioned that I have on my DC list. So my list was mostly anything Batman related or Tom King related, but I have something that you gentlemen did not say on your list, which is gonna just automatically, because of that fact and for no other reason, unfortunately, even though it was very good, get bumped up to number 1 of my DC books of the year, which is the Flintstones.
Yeah, it was my book last year. Yep.
Wait, when did issue number 1 come out? I honestly don't remember.
Like 20.
It was like mid 2016 till like March of this year, April of this year, or something.
Oh, okay. Well,
You can have it on your list. No, this was fucking incredible.
Yeah. I'm going to scale it back, though. I didn't realize that it was halfway in 2016. I thought that it came out at the end of 2016. It was mid 2016.
I mean, I want to say like half and half, maybe like June to June or something like that.
Okay, all right. Well,
it was on my list from last year. I remember that.
All right, that takes some of it away. But I was just surprised it didn't get any mention so far. Okay, other than Flintstones, which is other than Flintstones, which is on my list, it's the same as all these guys. Anything that Tom King wrote or Batman. So I'll actually keep this short. The best thing ever was Batman. The second best thing is let's see here. Oh, Batman. And the third best thing was, what does this say here? Oh, it says Batman.
What?
Joke. Okay, that was supposed to be
Flintstones info.
No. So anyway,
June 6th,
if you haven't-
2016 to June 7th, 2017.
Yeah. That's what I
so
thought
it was basically 1 year.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was 12 issues. Yeah.
So if you haven't read, the point is, if you haven't read Flintstones, go read Flintstones. Hopefully they collect it.
Snagglepuss should be on my list for next year.
Okay,
Game changer.
Good talk. So if you haven't read Batman Elmer Fudd, go read that. If you haven't read Batman Annual number 2, please go read that. Mr. Miracle, these guys are tugging on the dick of Mr. Miracle a lot, and Mr. Miracle is easily, as far as ongoing series, or at least 12 issues or more, do we call them series or miniseries? It's a top 2 or 3. But these guys have read the first 4 fucking issues of Mr. Miracle like it's the second coming of Jesus.
Hey, Darkseid is.
Mr. Miracle is a great read, and Tom King has never let us down. But and Mr. Miracle has been a great read. But these guys are.
I just want to hit Bryce, watch him go to the floor, and tell him to stand.
I would love for you to hit me and see what happens then.
So is that an honorable mention for Mr. Miracle or what?
My top 3 books. Number 1 is Batman. Number
Mr.
2
Miracle.
is Mr. Miracle. Number 3 is Flintstones. My honorable mentions are Superman, which I think got it was sort of like a bullshit Oz Effect crossover with their.
It didn't crossover with action.
No, but they had the whole what the fuck is his name? His father. What was the name of that story arc that I just read?
Oz Effect.
Anyway, I didn't.
That was
read
all
it.
in action.
That was an action.
Was I reading action, not Superman?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right. Well, there you go. Point being that I didn't read a lot of DC books, but what I read, I literally didn't read any DC books that I did not like, which I cannot say the same about Marvel. And but that was because it was a little curated. Anyway, yeah. So go read anything Tom King writes. Literally, you will not be let down. Go read anything with Batman in it. What just missed my top 3 is Batman White Knight, which these guys have already mentioned. Batman White Knight has been awesome. I wanted to do my intro for the podcast as Jack Napier. Sean Murphy is, fucking awesome, and so you should go read Batman White Knight. There you go.
Well, the top 3, as voted by our listeners, should come as absolutely no surprise. That is, number 3 is Batman Dark Knight's Metal. The number 2 book is Mr. Miracle. The number 1 book is Batman. What a shock. But there's a reason why these books are on this list. Holy shit. Superman and Detective Comics actually bringing up the number 4 and number 5 spot. So Detective being another bright spot. I love Detective this year, too. So thank you, everyone, that responded to our poll. We had a lot of people that voted this year, so that's super cool. I like seeing that. We do have some other quick topics. We're going to go roundtable real fast. No, I don't have to spend too much time on these, but there are a lot of other non-single issue comics released this year, as well as collections and toys. I wanted to spotlight a few of these things. Again, I think one thing that's going to be on all our lists here, but I did want to talk very briefly about best collections of the year. And although it's very new, it deserves every place that it gets this year as a best collected format, and that's the Fourth World Omnibus by the Jack Kirby Fourth World Omnibus by DC. Mm-hmm. Put it under your Christmas tree, because this thing is the gift that keeps giving, man. This is such a killer book. And we've talked about it at length the last few episodes, but it's no joke. It is incredible. I have so many people to come by and looked at it, and they're like, wow, that's amazing. So, yeah, if you like the big omnibuses, you have to get this. This may be the best one they've done to date. Looks great, color's great, paper's great, holds together. No problems as far as we know, although it does kind of take a few weeks for people to kind of figure it out. Hopefully no pages out of order or anything weird. It does happen sometimes.
Resurrection Man trade.
Yeah. But just a shout out to DC omnibuses in general. After Marvel's dominated the omnibus market the last couple of years, DC's come roaring back this year.
They've been pumping. They got the Batman and Robin omnibus. They got
all
Harley
the Golden
Quinn,
Age.
all the Golden Age stuff.
Yeah.
You know, they've been pumping out those Johns. Green Lantern ones on a regular click.
Well, they did Green Lantern, they did JSA, they did all the Big John stuff. And again, this isn't like this all happened this year, but it's been building and building and building. And it seems like every other week now there's like another huge one coming out. So
next year, I want a Superman Johns omnibus, and I want a Barry Allen Flash Johns omnibus.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
Those are the top of my list of what they need to do.
So who's picked up a good trade or hardcover or something this year that they wanna throw a shout out to?
Black
Nightfall
Signs.
2.
Oh, Nightfall.
Nightfall 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do I have a Nightfall omnibus?
I'm very happy that the Volume 2, and I'm very patiently or not patiently waiting for the Volume 3.
Rick Remender is very good about coming out with his hardcovers. I mean, he's a very good self-solicitor, and more power to him, because he has good, I would say great collected hardcover editions, like the Black Science one, and I think that he had one for Low, and he's had one for what's that high school crazy
Deadly
assassin
Class.
Teenagers? Thank you, Deadly Class. And that continues with his tradition of having great collected hardcovers of his Image work.
Yeah.
Historically, so yeah, I've picked up a couple of Remender stuff. It's been good.
I still need to get the Luther Strode hardcover.
Oh, have you talked about your Akira shit?
Oh, yeah, the
that's a
Akira
good book.
box set came out this year.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
The one we got for Charlie was damaged. We have to get another one.
Yeah.
You got to describe the shit. You open it like you're opening the trunk of a car. If the trunk of a car opened like the insides of a human being that you were opening horizontally with both hands, and
It's like the Ark of the Covenant or something. You're just like,
and people's faces are melting. Han Solo shows up. It's fucking incredible. There's 5 deluxe hardcovers in there of
6?
Akira material.
7. It's
7 with the art.
6
Don't
books in the art book.
undersell
Yeah.
Do not undersell this.
Sorry for being
story
so calm.
hardcovers plus the additional art
The art book.
hardcover.
Yeah.
I think.
It's so good.
I think for me, I really enjoyed DC's hardcovers that have been coming out, especially the DC Universe Rebirth hardcover that we got, and also the ones for the button, and then the first collected.
Oh, the button. How can I forget about that with the lenticular cover? It's such a great cover.
But all the big titles, you have this really nice singular hardcover that's out, and I mean
Tom King Batman ones.
Yeah, exactly. But they're doing such a great click. I mean, they had Volume 4 came out for Batman last week.
Yeah,
so that means Volume 2's coming right up the pipeline. So I think
hardcover.
DC is doing a really good job, at least on the release schedule for these things. So.
Yeah. I want to talk quickly about some of the best toys of the year. Again, not something that was exclusive to this year, but just how many they've been doing and the quality of what they're doing, and most importantly, the price point has been the Diamond Gallery line. This is their kind of statue-like action figures. They don't move, so they're more like a...
Why are you pouting, Charlie?
Because he didn't get in the shipment, so I can't see the Hulk that came out this week.
Last week?
Yeah.
The statues...
I cannot see the Hulk statue because I won't be here. I don't know.
The
We're not record.
They're plastic statues, so they're more like an action figure, but they're huge. They're 12, roughly 10, 12 inches,
They vary in size, but they're very nice.
And they're in
good
scale to
quality.
each other.
And yeah, they're scaled to each other, and they're just a nice kind of good price point for
And they look really nice next to much more expensive statues.
Yeah.
'Cause I have an interesting mix at home, and you can't tell unless you actually go and like really inspect it or pick it up. You really can't tell.
Yeah, and they've done a really good job with just what they're putting out. They're starting to do like the Marvel and DC movie lines as well, and the TV shows. So, yeah, that's some cool stuff.
Yeah, the CoverGirls line for this year and the Bombshells line for this year, I've been really enjoying statue-wise from DC.
Yeah.
The Hot Toys Wonder Woman from the movie.
I got my first Hot Toy this year.
Toy.
Amazing.
With Harley Quinn, the Suicide Squad Harley Quinn. Yeah, that was my first one. I bought it in 2015.
Shut up.
Don't forget about the Shakespeare bust.
2016, I don't remember.
Oh, was that this year?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Shakespeare
I guess that was
bust
this year.
was this year.
Yeah.
Which we still have one.
I know. I keep staring at it.
Yeah, me too. I may just put it out and
The
stick
Mighty
it, stick it
Thor
on the floor.
HeroClix set
Oh my god, love HeroClix.
was good.
Haven't played HeroClix in years, but really miss it. And HeroClix is awesome. Got some great collectible statues. Do you call them statues? You should.
They're
Well, they're great. They're great in an
they're
capacity.
collectible boy dolls.
A couple trades listed here that I forgot to
Girls
read through
play
here.
HeroClix.
Some of the guys in the forums. Stefano says the Lego DC Comics superhero build your own adventure because it had a Lego minifig of Jon Stewart Green Lantern. Otherwise, the button hardcover because that sweet event call back to Flashpoint, which actually Stefano's entry in the comics with the lenticular hardcover. Ben says the Hellboy in Hell 35th. The Hellboy in Hell Library Edition.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, really nice.
very beautiful.
The Akira 35th anniversary box set.
Yep.
And
that
anything
we
from
covered.
Humanoids.
Oh, did we mention this year was the year for art short boxes?
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
ton
Comic
art
boxes.
short
That's a
for
great
comic
call.
boxes came out.
Yep.
Marvel put a couple out for them. Independents had their own. DC had their own, but they had a lot of really cool, just nice art short boxes.
That's okay. I'm just waiting until Deadpool 2 comes out because I can almost guarantee you there'll be a nice art box for Cable because of Deadpool 2, and then I can buy it.
From the retailer front,
Yeah.
Can you shed any light on sort of what was the impetus of this happening like now as opposed to ever before? Like it seems
Just
crazy.
ability to do it, I guess, and maybe
Well,
people thought they wouldn't pay the extra price, but people do. So
I mean, you would see these things on like Etsy or on like Pinterest or whatever. Like
Yeah.
people had done their own,
Like the
people were
wraps. Like,
yeah,
they
and
like
people were
wrap
like,
boxes.
"Oh my gosh, that's so awesome!" And I think just now, finally, they were like, "Oh, well, we should do this." And I mean, the
So
markup,
Marvel and
the markup,
DC should thank Etsy. You're saying?
they should thank the people that were breaking trademark and for the idea.
Yeah,
Well,
fucking Etsy.
a lot of people do shit for themselves and then go, "Oh, people like this shit."
Yeah,
bunch of call outs for the Justice League International Omnibus, which came out recently. A couple here on the Fourth World. A couple. Jason says I really like the oversized image hardcovers like Tokyo Ghost, Low, Paper Girls, Did the Class.
Oh, you know what I really liked also was the Dark Knight 3 single issue hardcovers, and then the slipcase that came with the
That's
last one.
interesting.
That was a nice.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
Yeah, that's interesting. That's
I
fucking
found
glowing
it
praise.
odd the
Well, that's
way that they're
interesting.
starting to push
Well,
out other.
It's interesting that they
way.
did that. Yeah,
Because don't they have like a Watchmen version of that now?
and they had a
And
Dark
like
Knight
some-
one too. Yeah. Dark Knight, original Dark Knight.
Yeah, that's,
Oh,
that's
can I
interesting.
give a shout out to the metal concert T-shirt?
yeah. We sold a bunch
Like
of those.
holy shit! And what's funny is I wear comic book shirts all the time, like all the time. I'll be when I'm out. That's all I normally wear. Yeah, I know. Boom! Big surprise. The metal shirt is one I get commented on, no matter where I am at. I could be at Target. I could be at line at Chipotle. I could be getting stuff at the grocery store. And every time people comment on that metal shirt, it's awesome.
Michael Rudden also says, and this one I have to think about what I'm going to do here because he said Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes, which was the hardcover that came out recently, collecting some of the 80s, 70s, and I think at that point still 70s Superboy comics. Says finally reprinting the wedding tabloid, the Legion wedding tabloid, on decent print quality paper after almost 40 years. So this is one of the biggest problems that I have is I have all the Legion superhero comics. that I wanted to do a binding of. This is one of those books where I don't have because it's pretty expensive, and it's a huge tabloid book. The fact that this collects that, I almost want to start buying these hardcovers if they're going to keep doing them, and just get rid of my singles up until like some point where I feel like, okay, they've gone far enough. I don't need to buy these hardcovers anymore. But I do like.
Well, you could lump it into your Wade.
It's so rare that they take like those big tabloids and reprint them in like comic form. They don't do it too often.
Like the newspaper one.
Yeah. All right, that was our best comics 2017. We'll be back next week talking about movies, TV shows, maybe some video game talk from all comic book related, but of course honorable mentions for non-comic stuff
Aren't
too.
we going to be back with a surprise episode?
That's the week after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Whoa. Saucy Toby.
Sauced Toby.
Sauced Toby. So let's thank and thank you for everyone that's been listening to this podcast all year long. We appreciate it. We do it for the fans. We do it for you guys. Actually, we do it even if no one was listening. But it's really cool that people do listen, and we liked all the replies. We've got way more replies on the group this year, so I'm happy how many people are on there.
The community is very engaged. I mean, I normally don't see too much negativity going on the Facebook group. Like,
Very rare.
We have
Very
a really
rare.
good community going on.
Yeah,
So
join that Facebook group at I think facebook.com/group/geekbox.
Even if you hate Facebook, and there's a lot of people that hate Facebook with good reason, but even if you hate Facebook, join the Facebook group. Get a Facebook account and sign up for the Facebook group, because there's a lot of fun banter that goes on with
You never
the
have to
Facebook
use it
group.
for anything
well, Justin
else.
did
Exactly.
that this year.
Yeah.
Exactly. Sign up for the Facebook group. You don't have to send pictures of your family to your mom. Just sign up for the Facebook group.
Well, let's thank our good friends on Patreon. That's Julian Titus at the Nerds Without Pants podcast at pixelbit.com.
No pants.
Ryan Hess has Blowhards, which is a video game podcast at blowhards.libsyn.com.
Blowhard.
Jody Lawson has Canon, the Triad Comics Anthology at Triad Comic Studios. .com.
Whoa.
Don't forget our good friends Manoa Place, Sam Che, Talon Bray, Craig Anderson, Joe Duff, and of course Albert Soy.
Plants everywhere.
No.
Plans everywhere.
He has his app, Canby, which we are using here at Comics Conspiracy. It is about connecting
Plants everywhere.
customers with their favorite retailers like Comics Conspiracy, where you can integrate a loyalty program with prepaid gift cards into one mobile app. So
and we have a rewards program through it now.
we do, yep. So you can make sure you sign up here when you're a Comics Conspiracy.
78 points.
And
As of 2 weeks ago.
and yep,
Go to 45 points.
we're rolling this out for a while. We're one of the first people in the country, in the world, to use this. So I want to thank Albert for the ability to test this out for him a bit. And it's live, it's ready, it's up. So go on Google Play or the Play Store, or go on the iTunes App Store and download Cambi, CAMBI, and get some more info on there. Thank you guys very much. We'll see you guys next week for our best comic movies and TV shows of 2017. See you then.
What about the outro?
The outro I just did.
The one with like digital comics and
Oh, whatever.
did you forget like half the fucking intro?
I guess.
Exit.
Yeah, it doesn't
About
matter.
trying to
Jesus.
follow all these.
They know where that stuff is. Wait, I guess I did forget that stuff.
Jesus
Follow all
Christ.
these guys.
Are
Okay.
we going to do random picks
I will
too?
just shut up. I will just no, because this is a special episode. I will just plug Bryce doing the outro last week into this, but also I could just say comicspiracy. Wait, how about comicspiracypodcast.com, geekbox.net, rate and review us, please. Comicspiracy, geekbox.net, or contact form patreon.com/comicspiracy, digital.comicsconspiracy.biz.
You are not the Micro Machines
That's
guy.
the DS. Spiritofrock.com, that's Brock's blog and video
That's
pull
old
list.
school.
The Wanderers in the
way more
Fourth Dimension,
eloquent.
that's Charlie's Doctor Who podcast.
elegant.
Don't forget etsy.com/shop/Leanne Hill Art.
Me right now.
Well, because you were talking around my AIM account.
Yes.
Ryan Higgins, that is me. I'm on Twitter. Brock is Brock Sager. Bryce is Bryce Larsen. Toby is Toby XI. Charlie's Insanity and Chaos. The store is Comic Con Store. This is the Geek Box, which isn't on for a few weeks. Comedy Button, that's on. Good Job Brain, that's also not on. All Talk Podcast is not
did he do yours,
on
Scott?
anymore. Scott, you're back on. You're back on.
You got to update that whole
What's your
outro.
Twitter? Yeah, I know. I will.
CS Shea.
CS Shea, SHEA.
I'm pretty sure you have Omar still on there.
I do. Manga Machinations and the Infinite Binge podcast. Those are there.
Did you just say Infinite Bitch podcast?
Infinite Binge. So that's it. Go binge
What
infinitely.
about our comic book store bags and boards Twitter?